There are times when I find myself laughing to myself, recalling memories of growing up in a black township that is situated next to a colored township. As black children, we would admire colors, especially ladies that were light in complexion, who had long hair. They'll be speaking in Afrikaans, and even small children who were fluent in Afrikaans. To us, it was like you are next to a white person. A lot of events happened. Some of them it was real fun, irrespective of saying we are in an apartheid era. Please continue to listen. Your host being Peggy, who is an ordinary elderly citizen. During school holidays, for example, our parents, especially mothers, would team up and tell us in advance to say the following day we have to go to a colored shop to get certain items for them. These are items that you cannot find in our local shops. For example, it could be an item for a primer stove, a paraffin lamp, kitchen utensils, or anything, but it would never be groceries. As kids, we'll start organizing to say who will be going to those shops. There was a rule: if you cannot run, you cannot be part of the team that's going to the shop. Why? Because running is part of the game. There'll be fear silently to say, I wonder how it's going to happen. What are we going to meet? What challenges are we going to face? But at the same time, there's anticipation, there's excitement to say, what happened that was negative before, when the last trip, is not going to happen to me again with this trip. Another thing, your parents wouldn't send you to go there alone because they knew you wouldn't be able to. With the boys who will be part of the group, their role was that of being protectors. At the same time, they are expected to be brave, to lead the war, the fight that is going to happen amongst the two groups. The following day, we would leave around 9-10 a.m. Why? We are hoping to say most of the kids on our route, the colored kids, would still be in house. But what will usually happen is, as you walk past some of the children that are playing, your same age group, they won't say anything. They let you pass, go past them quietly. But what happens, as you reach the shops, they'll be calling others, organizing themselves. So as you leave the shop, there'll be a wall, a place where they are standing, forming a wall, and then you have to walk past them. And it was not as simple as all that. A main thing is, none of us would be wearing shoes. In those days, shoes were reserved for going to school, church, town, or a special gathering or event. So playing at home, we were always barefoot. Girls would have tucked our dresses or skirts to be short so that when it's time to run, you don't fall. Boys would be having little stones in their pockets, and everyone will be carrying a stick. So the colored kids will be waiting now, also having sticks. They just grab them from the trees. And then some would be having water in buckets or a hose pipe, if a hose pipe can reach the area where we're going to walk through. And then now it will be like it's in a rugby match, because when you are facing each other, it's a case of who's going to run towards this wall of colored kids first. And then they'll be taunting you. Yeah, kom julle hier so, you KKs. Kom hier so, wat soek julle hier so? And then also us will be saying, siyadlula la, rafita mo, pusha hamba. So they will be saying anything, but it was not like vulgar swear words. And then they'll be shoving, pushing, and then there'll be resistance. You push forward like in a rugby game. They'll be pushing you backwards. Those who are lucky will be able to pass through quicker, but others you have to deal with the resistance. So you'll be hitting them, they'll be hitting you, and there'll be adults, the parents from the colored area and older children watching what is happening. But I must emphasize, nobody will sustain injuries to say this person must be taken to a clinic or a hospital. No, it was not like that. And then what will sustain it will be scratches on your knees as we are falling down, or your toes because we are barefooted. It will be pusha, daka balega. Yeah, vatsukjele yele muni hirso komni. And then eventually you'll make it through. Some of you will be wet because they threw a bucket of water on you. Some maybe a t-shirt could be torn, or a dress as you are pulling each other. It will be happening on both sides. And then there'll be tears. Some will be screaming, crying, especially if you were younger, because now all that bravery is gone. When you see 2, 3 people, 5 people coming towards you with sticks, whether you were black or you were a colored child. Eventually your group will run and reach the main road that separates the 2 townships. Then you have to stop, count each other and check, have you all managed to walk through that, to go past that wall of your tormentors? And you find that they've grabbed 1 or 2, and they'll always go for the younger ones as hostages for them, so that you are forced to come back to continue fighting them in order to rescue. So those who would go back, it would always be boys, and then girls who felt more brave will accompany the boys to go and rescue the others. And it will still be the same thing, the same war. Vatsukjale, come here so. And they'll be doing whatever they are doing. You'll be retaliating until eventually they let go of the hostages. On arrival in your own area, parents who sent you to the shops and elder kids will be standing by waiting for the feedback to say, how was your trip? We'll all be trying to talk at the same time to say who was the bravest, who cried, who fell, whatever happened. Some will be creative with their feedback to show that they were the heroes, and amongst yourselves you know who were the most brave ones amongst you, who struggled and all. And then you wouldn't tell on each other to say, no, so and so was like a coward or whatever. You cover each other up. So Sometimes the colored kids as well, it would be their turn to be sent to any of the shops in a black area. So whichever area they're going to go to, they'll also be in a group because they know they are going to meet the same challenges that black children meet when they go to a shop in their area. And then it will be bafunani lapha, ya sibatholile namhlanje, vatsukjele hirso, is the black ones now asking the colored ones. They'll also be having their sticks, the stone, is the same routine. So why am I talking about this? Is to show, to say, yes, apartheid era was bad. But there's a lot of fun things that we can talk about. We managed to survive being of different racial groups. Friendships were formed. There was what I'm talking about. There was no animosity, there was no hatred. It was just growing up, bullying happening amongst the two groups. Hence I'm saying sometimes they'll cross over. Those who were nearer the township, let's say separated by that main road, will challenge each other in games. It was fun. So apartheid, yes, it was bad, but there's a lot of good that we can talk of as well. Please watch the following videos that are appearing on the screen. I would really appreciate it. It's about what happened during the apartheid era. If you have anything you'll want to contribute, that is comments wise, please write it on the comment section. Let us share what were your experiences that you can talk about that makes you laugh related to the apartheid era, depending on where you grew up. Thank you very much for listening on this topic. Bye.